Hi everyone, this is Sugantha Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Dr.S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. This presentation is about the topic deadlocks in the subject operating system. So let us discuss about deadlocks. What is a deadlock? So a set of two or more processes are deadlocked if they are blocked. So that is, they are in the waiting state. So each process is holding a resource and it is waiting to acquire some other resource that is held by the process that is in set. Or a process is said to be deadlocked if it is waiting for an event which is never going to happen at all. So deadlocks occurs in a system with two reasons. One is with the help of system calls or locking. So if you see in this example, here we have two different processes, process A and process B. So process A is holding the resource T1 and process B is holding the resource T2. So already both the processes are holding the resource. Now they are requesting for additional resource. Then a deadlock occurs in a system. So next we will discuss about the deadlock example. So the best example for a deadlock is our traffic. So in a traffic, if you see, so multiple vehicles trying to go in the same path. So there will be a deadlock between, or there will be a heavy traffic within the system. So how to avoid this deadlocks? So this is a system model for a deadlock. So generally a system consists of resources. The resources are numbered as R1, R2, etc. up to R1. So the resource types are numbered. So based on their CPU cycles. So the memory space of the resources and based upon the availability of the IO devices. So the resource types are numbered. So every resource in the system will have an RI. So that is resource with WI instances. So each process is going to utilize a resource in the following manner. First, it is going to request a resource, then use that particular resource. After using the resource, it is going to release. So next we will discuss about deadlock characterization. So these are the four conditions for a resource deadlock. So one is mutual exclusion, hold and wait condition, so no preemption condition and circular wait condition. So next we will discuss about the deadlock modeling. So the deadlock is modeled with a direct graph. So if you see in the diagram A, so we have a process A that is assigned to resource. So resource R is assigned to process A. So if you see the next diagram, so the process B is requesting or it is waiting for a resource S. So it is going to either request or it is going to wait. So if you see in the next C diagram, so the process C and D are said to be deadlocked over the resources T and U. So both the process that is C and D is already using the resource and it is requesting for another resource. So now there is a deadlock in the system. So next we will discuss about deadlock detection and recovery. So in the deadlock detection and recovery, we will discuss about one resource of each type. So a deadlock exists in a system. So if and only if a wait for condition or a wait for graph contains a cycle. So if there is a cycle, so we can understand that there is a deadlock in the system. So in order to detect this deadlock, the system have to maintain the wait for graph periodically. So by invoking an algorithm. So this algorithm is going to search whether there is any cycle in the graph. So if there is any cycle in the graph, it indicates that there is a deadlock in the system. So if the graph contains more than one cycles or more than one knot, so generally the cycles are called as a knot. So then it means that the deadlock occurs in a system. So any process that is a part of the cycle is deadlock. So if there is no cycle means, so the system is not deadlock. So by this way, so we can identify the deadlock in a system. So next is detection with one resource of each type. So we have considered a system with 7 different processes. So we have mentioned it through a graph. So A is a process through G. So A till G is a set of process and we have 6 resources from R to W. So which is known as the resource graph. So the resource graph is mentioned here. So from this cycle, so we can see that the process D, E and G are all deadlocked. So because, so there is a cycle or knot between this process. So with the help of that knots, so we can identify that there is a deadlock in the system. So a process A, C and F are not deadlocked because, so there is no cycle between these processes. So there is no deadlock. So by assigning a graph, so we can identify whether the system is in deadlock or not. So next we will discuss about deadlock detection with multiple resource of each type. So we have to maintain two matrices in this. So one is resource in existence and the other one is resource in available. So based on the existence, we can allot the resources appropriately. So here C1, C1, C2, etc. C1, it is going to indicate the current allocation matrix with the help of the set of resources available, so which is numbered from R1 etc. up to Rn. So next we will discuss about deadlock detection with multiple resource of each type. So here we have E. So E is a existing resource and A is available resource. So next, so totally there are 4 tape drives that is in existence, 2 plotters, 3 scanners and CD-ROMs. So this indicates the type of resources that is available in the system. So next is an available. So available is 2 tape drives, 1 plotter, so 0 scanner and CD and 0 CD-ROMs. So based on the existing and based on the available, so we are going to give the current allocation matrix. So current allocation matrix is nothing but, so after allocating, so what is the remaining resources that is available. Say for example, if you take 4 tape drives, so the availability is 2. So 2 is allotted and the remaining is 2. So next if you take plotter, so there is 2 existence plotter. So 1 plotter is already allotted. So in the current allocation matrix, the remaining is 1. So totally there are 3 scanners and 1 CD-ROM. So likewise, so we can allocate, so based upon the existence and the availability. So in the request matrix, so you can place the request that is requested by the different type of process. So all the requests are placed in this request matrix. So next is how to recover from deadlock. So we can recover from deadlock using 3 ways. So one is using recovery through preemption, or recovery through rollback, or recovery through killing process. So recovery through preemption means, so without the knowledge of the process, so you can particularly take that process from the CPU. So next is recovery through rollback mechanism. In the rollback mechanism, you can roll back all your operations. You can pick that particular process from the operating systems. And next, third type is you can kill the entire process. So next we will discuss about deadlock avoidance. So in the deadlock avoidance, there are 2 possible states. So one is safe state and the unsafe state. So safe state, in the unsafe state means the system is going to enter into the deadlock condition. So safe state means the system is in the safe state. So that is a deadlock is never going to happen in the system. So next is deadlock avoidance. So in order to determine the safe or unsafe state, so we must know the resources that are currently available. So the resources that are currently allocated to each process and the resources that will be required and released by these process in the future. So to avoid the deadlock, we have to follow this simple rule in order to enter the system into a safe state. So next we will discuss about the deadlock avoidance. So in the deadlock avoidance, so we can maintain that we can identify whether the system is in the safe state or the unsafe state. So if you see in this diagram, we have 3 different processes named process A, process B and process 3. So the total number of resources, it is 10. So totally you can allocate 10 different resources to the process A, B and C. So the available, it is free. So this indicates that the system is in the safe state. So if you come to the next diagram, so in the next diagram also the system is in the safe state. So if you see in the last diagram, so all the resources are allocated to the process A, process B and the process C. Now this particular system is in the unsafe state. So we can identify this that the system is going to enter into the deadlock. So next is Banker's algorithm for a single resource. So 3 resource allocation state. One is safe, second diagram is also safe and the third one is unsafe. So the first diagram, it is free. So all the 10 resources are free. Initially all the processes are empty. So all resources are available. The system is in the safe state. So if you see to the next diagram, so you are allocating 8 resources to the process A, B, C and D. So totally out of 10 resources, 8 we have allocated and the free space, it is 2. If you see in the third diagram, so the system is going to enter into a unsafe state. So because the total number of resources it is 10, so we have allocated 9 resources, totally free resource is 1. So if we allocate this resource, then the system may enter into the unsafe state. So by identifying this, we can avoid the deadlocks. So next is attacking the circular wait condition. So if there are in the mutual exclusion condition, so the approach is we have to spool everything. So in the hold and wait condition, you have to request all the resources initially. So in the no preemption condition, you can take the resources away, and in the circular wait condition, you can order the resources numerically. So for these 4 reasons, a deadlock may occur in a system. So using these approaches, so we can avoid the deadlock in the system. Thank you.